Lock in all sports, all plays, all 5% best bets from now until Super Bowl 58 on February 11th, 2024. From your favorite WagerTalk or Sports Memo handicapper for only $11.99 versus a regular price of $19.99 for a total savings of $800. This limited time super discount basically is 52 weeks at $23 per week, less than the price of one 4% play, coming out to only $3.29 per day. With the cost of a 30-day all-access priced at $2.99, it is almost like getting 8 30-day all-access passes at no additional cost. As an added bonus, your all-access starts immediately, so the sooner you buy before Super Bowl, the more additional days you get for free.
Welcome into the NBA Tip-Off Show here at WagerTalk TV. February 1st, Wednesday afternoon. I'm Megan Payton. We've got a great panel joining us to go over some NBA on the slate today. We've got Skee Prophet, J Money, and Teddy Covers all here to talk the association. Before we jump into our NBA slate, let's go around the horn and see what we got going on over at WagerTalk.com and Sports Memo. Teddy Covers, start us out. What do you have going on?
So I've been running pretty good. 5-0 over the last 3 days. I think it's 15-6 over the last 9, so better than 70% during that span. And that includes a couple of big tickets in the NBA, both winners. I got a one going tonight as well. Jumped off the page at me, and the line is holding fairly reasonably as we speak. You can get that play right now over at WagerTalk and or sportsmemo.com as part of my 4-play Wednesday card, 2 in the NBA. 2 in college hoops.
Hakeem, what do you have up at wagertalk.com for this week?
Well, similarly to Teddy, NBA's been treating me nicely. I've won a little bit over 64% of my last 40 NBA wagers. And last night we had a 5% big ticket winner on the Heat and Cavs under. Tonight, I have another 5% big ticket, and we're going to try to cash another one. So up and available at wagertalk.com.
J Money, you're all over the place. You're at Action, you're here, but you've got NBA Talk up at YouTube. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so I've actually liked the guys as well, man. 10-1 my last 11 NBA plays, so starting to get hot as well, man. We had our guy Skee on the show today. NBA Talk with J Money over there on YouTube. But yeah, I'm all over the place, Megan, man, trying to get some cash, but it's all about the winning picks first and foremost. So can't wait to talk some NBA with you guys today.
As always, we've got great games to talk about. We'll do our contrarian play of the day. We'll look at a featured game, overtime, all of the above. J Money, by the way, I like the shades today. Let's see what the contrarian guys have in store for us. They're looking at Portland plus 5.5. The Trailblazers and Memphis taking on the Grizzlies. Tip off at 7 p.m. Eastern. Grizzlies are a 5.5 point favorite, but the gods are saying roll with Portland here. Teddy Covers, it's hard for me to roll with them because Grizzlies are finally starting to come back. They broke that 5-game losing streak. Memphis is fantastic at home. They're 2-5 against the spread in their past 7 games at home. Can you roll with the gods here?
So I know this. I'm not going to take Memphis minus the points tonight. The Grizzlies have not been playing their best ball of late. This is a team that got power rated fairly high pretty early and rolled through the league. And they had that awful West Coast trip where they lost all 5 games straight up and against the spread. They bounced back. They had Indiana the other night. Even that, I was watching that game. They rallied from behind to win. They're supposed to beat the Pacers at this stage of the season. It wasn't anything that made me think that Memphis is clicking on all cylinders right now. And I think, honestly, the injury for this team that no one's talking about, Steven Adams matters.
Yeah.
He matters a lot when it comes to their low post defense, their low post rebounding, their presence in the paint. And I know JJJ is getting all the blocks, but I feel like the Grizzlies right now aren't clicking on all cylinders. Portland's 0-8 ATS, their last 8 on the road. It's not a team I'm in a rush to get to the betting window with. But if I had to, it'd be Blazers. not Grizzlies in this one. Yeah, I'll go with the contrarian gods. Go contrarian gods.
That's fair, Teddy. Adams out for this one. Desmond Bain unsure yet. Looking like he's going to play, but it's been significant with the injuries that Memphis has had to deal with. Jay, the one thing I'll look at though, Trailblazers have been 0-8 against the spread, straight up 0-8 and the road games. Does that make you a little bit hesitant in riding with the gods here?
Yeah, it makes me very hesitant, personally. And if Bain, I think Bain is the bigger injury here. I do think they can get it done without Adams. Bain really stretches the offense. He stretches the defense as well. So you need him out there to hit those threes. And even if he's not hitting the shots, you have to respect him here. But specifically, if I want Grizzlies here, I want them early, with the Blazers coming off 6 straight home games. Just as a basketball player, when you go head into a new gym for your first time in the first couple of weeks, man, it's definitely going to be tough for you to get used to that as well. Obviously, going into Grind City, it's always going to be hard. So if Bane's in there, the short answer is I'm fading the contrarian gods. I like the Grizzlies to get it done here. Blazers all over the place. Trade speculation all over the place as well. I don't want the Blazers right now, especially on the road.
I'm with you on that. Bottom 3 in offensive efficiency this season. Ski Profit, how are you approaching this one?
Well, a lot of good points made by both of the guys before me. To what Teddy was saying, yes, Steven Adams is extremely important to this team on the defense, on the boards, even as far as just setting screens to get others open. A lot of things he does just affects how Memphis wins. And I agree with Jay that, they need Desmond Bain out there because he's their main shooter. He's the guy who's going to create space for guys like John Moran and others to get to the rim. So if you don't have him out there, all the other team has to do is pack the paint, and it's really easy to play defense. And that's what Portland needs right now. They need an easy game because they've been absolutely terrible defensively. They haven't been rebounding the ball. They haven't been doing a whole lot of anything well lately. I guess if I try to make a case for them, Memphis does play tomorrow. They've been the better offensive team. That's the one thing Blazers have been able to do. They can score number 1 in the last 5 days compared to Memphis, who's third worst or bottom 4. So I'll lean with the Blazers just because I don't trust Memphis to win by multiple possessions, potentially missing 2 starters and not playing good basketball right now.
Well, we're split on this one. Roll with the contrarian gods or don't. Tip off is at 7 p.m. Eastern. You can get the Grizzlies -5.5 or take Portland +5.5 right now on all the sports books. Let's switch over to our featured game of the night. We are looking at the Toronto Raptors at Utah's Jazz. Jazz is a 3-point favorite, total 230.5. Tip off at 9 p.m. Eastern. I love Utah here. They're great at home, fully healthy, coming off a win to Dallas. They've won 6 of their last 9 games. To me, I can't find any way to not roll with the home team and also not to lay the points. Jay, how do you approach Utah and Toronto?
I don't like this game at all, Megan. I can't lie to you, but if I was betting this game, I probably would have to look towards the Jazz team. Jazz are a much better offensive team here, but you look at the Raptors, they are the much better defensive team. But the reason why I don't want the Raptors here, obviously a lot of trade speculation, man. I couldn't talk to anyone that was not betting until after the trade deadline because some of these teams, you never know where their minds are at. Gary Trent Jr. is really close to being traded. Fred VanVleet as well. He's close to being traded. They know that he's not going to sign the extension, so you almost have to trade him and get some back for him as well. OG Anunoby look like he may be out for a while with the wrist injury, but he's on the trade block as well, man. So 5th straight road game of a 7-game road trip for the Raptors. I don't want them here, but I must say they have the light years better defense in this one. But Jazz play well at the house. If I'm making a play on this game, it's Jazz -3, but I think this is a true toss up in my opinion.
Yeah, Raptors lost to Phoenix, by the way, Monday. Utah's done a good job, though, at overachieving with this, like just as this season. This was a team that was expected to be a rebuild year. And I'd say, just looking from an outside perspective, we have seen a better performance than what we might have expected coming into the season. Skee, do you have any insights for this one?
I agree with what you said. And Utah, the one situation they've been a money burner is as a favorite so far this year. But in this situation here, -3 is kind of just asking them to win. And at home, they've done just that. They are 17-9 straight up compared to the Raptors, who are the opposite. They're 8-17 straight up on the road. You have the rest advantage also for Utah here, 3 days compared to one. And I know rest advantage hasn't been that great so far this year, but looking specifically at teams with more than 2 days rest versus an opponent with 1 day's rest, they're 19 and 10, 65.5% against the spread this season. That's what we're looking at today. Also, another reason the Raptors are really poor, they're not a good 3-point shooting team, and they're second worst defending the three. And they're going up against a Utah team who's more than capable of filling it up from the 3-point land. They're just out of top 10. They're 11th now, but really good 3-point shooting team on the other side. So I think it's a lot of ways where Utah can win this game by a margin. I think they're also the better defensive rated team, if I didn't mention that. So I would only take the Jazz in this spot.
Yeah, Utah knows how to be a lights out team when they're shooting well from three, and they have been as of late. I think the Anunoby injury is pretty significant when you're looking at just how much he impacts Toronto. Teddy, how do you approach this one, Toronto at Utah?
Well, Toronto has no depth, so any injury that they have, any one, they got a 7-man rotation for the Raptors, and it's been that way. I mean, Nick Nurse just doesn't like going to his bench unless he absolutely has to, and you get DNP coach's decision over and over for the bottom of the Raps. I'm not even saying rotation at the bottom of their bench. These guys never play. All that said, Toronto, I'm having a good year in the NBA. Had a good year last year, and it was around this time last year that all three of us started rolling. It's late January, February that we started rolling, and we rolled all the way through the end of the season. So the fact that we're all agreeing today on mostly doesn't concern me. But Toronto is probably my least favorite team in the league this year. I haven't won betting on the Raptors. I haven't won betting against the Raptors. I can't figure out where their spots are. They're a team that I am avoiding like the plague right now. I'm not playing Toronto. When you have a team like that, you just leave them alone. So I'm leaving the Raptors alone. That said, at this stage of the road trip, I don't trust Toronto. They're not playing great ball. They have limited depth, and Utah can fill it up. So if I have to play, I'll lay this one. I don't want the dog. But like I said, I've been wrong on this team all year. So maybe you go the other way.
Let's talk totals here because this is an interesting one for our overtime game of the week. We're looking at the Kings and the Spurs. It's time for overtime. The opening total was 244. We're still seeing it at 244. This is the highest total on the slate tonight. The Kings at Spurs. Kings are an 8-point favorite. The Kings remain the highest scoring team in the NBA, though, at 119.5 points per game. Skee, is this number too high for you? Would you mess with it?
Yeah, it is too high for me. And, just thinking about this Kings team, I know they play up tempo. They're not the greatest defensive team. And the same can be said for the Spurs. They play up tempo and they're a really bad defensive team. The worst team defending the three, as a matter of fact, so far this season. The thing is, like I'm looking at the last 2 weeks for this Kings team, they're 6-1 to the under. And that's probably just telling me that you're getting numbers like we're looking at today, where it's just too high for you to play up and over. They are 16-6 to the under on the road so far this year. So with just both of those things combined, nothing too strong here for me. 244, a lot has to go right. So I'll go under and I'll rock with the trend for the Kings unders on the road.
I will say the Spurs defense is allowing over 122 points per game. Teddy, any lean for the total on this one?
I mean, the Kings scored $132 and $130 in the two meetings against San Antonio already this season. They shot better than 50% from the floor in both of those ball games. So if I'm going to go over here, I'm only going to go team total over with Sacramento. I'm not going to go full game over. And here's why. All right. Mike Brown was not amused before that game against Minnesota, before the rematch against Minnesota, where the T-Wolves were just draining everything. It was 117-110, the first of the two games. And Mike Brown, quote, that's fool's gold if we think that we're just going to beat teams by outscoring them. It's not going to happen, especially come playoff time. So somehow, some way, I have to find a combination of players that can score that are willing to get stops for us. Lo and behold, the rematch against Minnesota the next night. Boy, Sacramento played good defense throughout the course of that ballgame. Certainly better than what we've seen from the Kings in recent weeks. So San Antonio is going to do what they do. They're going to give effort. They do light up the scoreboard sometimes. Defensively, they're hopeless. So Minnesota team total is the way I would go here. I do think the T-Wolves are playing okay defense, and as the guys have talked about, as that they're not cashing a whole lot of over bets on the road. So Kings team total over, not the full game.
I like that approach, Teddy. We look at WagerTalk live odds, always available at wagertalk.com. You can see where people are betting. Right now, we've got 68% of the tickets on the over, Jay, and 88% of the money on the over. Should we join the club here? Take the over?
Man, I want to go contrarian and say under, but there's no. I mean, the Spurs are over team. The Kings are over team as well. And like Skee said, 4 straight unders, 6-1 to the under last 7 games, 16-6 under on the road as well, which means they're focusing on their defense a little bit more. Obviously, they play offense a lot better at the house. So I'm going to go contrarian and go under. I probably wouldn't bet the under, but for this, because like I don't bet totals to be honest with you, but I would look towards the under in this one. But I actually think there might be a little bit of defense played in this game. It's just the way I look at it. No one likes the Spurs today, guys, but I like the Spurs.
All right, 244, highest total on the slate, but it's time for the best time, which is looking at the dogs, who the panel has as their underdogs of the day.
That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. And anybody got to say anything, you let me know. That's my dog.
Here we go. These are today's dogs. Portland, Orlando, Brooklyn, San Antonio, Minnesota, Houston, Toronto, and Atlanta. Teddy, start us off. Who's your dog of the day?
It's no brainer here. I mean, the Magic are dogs. I'm on the Magic. These are the teams you make money with in the NBA. All right, Orlando started the year 5-20. They were bottom feeders last year. They were bottom feeders the year before. They have 0 betting bandwagon. They're in a smaller market. They don't get national TV games. If you ask a casual fan, name me 2 players on Orlando, they're probably not going to be able to name you 1. Okay? They haven't had any long winning streaks that lead SportsCenter. They play hard every night. Orlando's that team. When you see them catching points, you take them plus the points. And you're worried about, Philly's got revenge. Orlando just beat them in Philadelphia 2 nights ago. 2 quotes I want to read you. All right? One from Markelle Fultz, the point guard, talking about how the Magic are believing. I think it goes back to believing, he said. Understanding that as long as we believe and continue to fight every night, it gives ourselves a chance against any team in this league. We work for that. We're all putting in the work, and we should believe that. Again, we just continue to build, to get better every day, and win games. They've beaten during this stretch. All right, remember, they started the season 5-20. They're 15-11 straight up, 19-7 ATS since. And they've beaten the Celtics 3 times, the Raptors, the Hawks, the Warriors, the Blazers, the Clippers, and the 76ers. They're not just beating bottom feeders. They're hanging tough and winning against good teams. Then you say, all right, well, Philadelphia lost. They're going to come out and kill them. Doc Rivers quote. There's no big picture. It's just one game. All right, so I'm not going to overreact to it or anything like that. There are things we have to do better. And even if we won the game by 20, we're always a work in progress. That's the way I look at our team. Too many points. Embiid or no Embiid. Give me the Magic.
Teddy, you're not alone on that. 77% of the tickets money on Orlando tonight. I like where you're looking. Skee, any dogs barking tonight?
Well, I would probably look towards. I'm probably going to take Jays, but hey, I got to roll with what I like, man. I probably look towards the Nets +9. And the reason is just, I don't think the Celtics deserve to be laying these kind of points. Like, they haven't covered in 2 weeks. And you expect them to come in here and win by double digits versus a team who is kind of figuring it out. They've covered 5 of their last 7 games. And I think they're 9-3 as a road dog so far this season. So until Boston figures it out, until they start to cover some games, put some money in their backers' pockets, I'm not laying 9 points with them. Give me the Nets +9.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I hadn't thought too much in it, but I'm kind of now liking Brooklyn +9. Jay, who's barking at you tonight?
Yeah, Skee knew that Skee did a show with me earlier, man. He knew that I liked the Nets. But regardless, I got 2 of them, man. I just like the song. I like the intro coming up to this. No, it's cool. I'll still go with it, man. But I gotta give some credit to the intro, man. The from Friday. I absolutely love it. That's my dog. You let me know. But 2 for me, guys. taking the Nets plus the 9 in this one. They're starting to figure things out. 4-2 straight up and 5-1 against the spread last 6 games. They have lost 9 straight to the Celtics and are only 1-8 against the spread. So you definitely have all the motivation in the world. Kyrie going back to Boston here. But if you look at the Celtics, they're 0-9 against the spread this year in this specific situation, and also 1-8 straight up as well. So they hadn't even been winning these spots with 2 or more days rest. I don't know what it is. Probably because they're a jump shooting team. They're out of their rhythm as well. So 0-9 against the spread in this spot and 0-6 against the spread last 6 games. Give me the Nets plus a 9 and another bonus. Give me the Spurs, man. The ugliest dog on the board. No one will want to take this play. Those are some of the best bets that cash, guys. Also, I'll take the Spurs plus a 7.5 in that one. Huge look ahead for the Kings to the Pacers as well. And it's too many points for them to be laying on the road. San Antonio plus 7.5, Brooklyn Nets plus 9.
You can still get Kings at 8 if you do like looking at Spurs Kings there. J Money bringing out all the bets. You know what? I'm coming right back to you because it's time for the best time of the show, which is our best bet section. 60 seconds on the clock. You know the rules. Do whatever you want with it. Promote whatever you want, but make sure you give us a best bet and make sure you get out on time. J Money, we're coming back to you. Your time starts now.
Yeah, I usually leave time to spare for me, man. But if only promo for me, if you guys want to go check out NBA Talk with J Money on YouTube, doing about 3 shows a day over there on the channel, man. Late shows as well, late night shows, all that good stuff, man. It's all free every single day, Monday through Sunday, man. Giving out the picks. And one best bet for me today, man. I'm rocking with a triple revenge spot. Even the Thunder land the 5.5 points. They also have same season revenge as well. They lost on November 26, 118-105. There was a back-to-back spot. They hadn't lost back-to-back games all year. They're coming off a loss as well. And guess what? The Rockets don't put together back-to-back performances as well. Only 1-5-1 against the spread last 7 games, following a straight-up win. They're also 1-5 against the spread last 6 at the house. I think the Thunder take these Rockets to Smack City tonight. Give me Thunder by 15-plus points in this one.
There you go. With 10 seconds left on the clock, beautiful timing. Teddy covers. I heard you might be looking at a total tonight for your best bet. What do you have? 60 seconds?
Absolutely. Let's go to Minnesota and look at the T-Wolves and the Warriors over the total. And it starts with the series history. How do these 2 teams and 2 coaches go up against each other? Well, they played 8 times since the beginning of 2021. Oh my gosh, they're 8-0 to the over. They played once this year. They got in the 250s already. And it wasn't like Minnesota even shot well in that ball game. From a pace standpoint, Golden State, the fastest team in the NBA. Minnesota's not far behind. They're both top 5. From a defensive efficiency standpoint, we always think of the Warriors, this great defensive team. Not this year. They're out of the top half of the league in defense. Minnesota actually has the better defensive efficiency numbers than Golden State right now. I think the pace is going to be there. I think the shooting is going to be there. Ant's on a roll. Curry's on a roll. Take the over with Golden State and Minnesota and expect a high scoring affair. Those phone throwing the buzzer. I'm looking up there. I got 30 seconds left. 5% big ticket goes tonight over at WagerTalk and Sports Memo.
See, when Robert doesn't agree, that's his way of our producer getting in. But Teddy, I agree. I agree with you. You've got 2 fast-paced teams, 2 top-paced teams in the league. Also a Golden State team that's been doing better, and a Minnesota team that's top 5 in field goal percentage. Skee, let's head over to you. 1 minute on the clock. No interruptions, Robert. 60 seconds starts now.
Yeah, I'll start mine off by saying I love Houston. So maybe I can get a little bit of leeway with the buzzer. And then I got to come back and jab at Teddy now. You know, we've been playing nice for the past couple of weeks, but you said they don't get any attention. You know, no national TV games. Oh, well, they got Philly's attention now. Philly was up by 21 in that last game. They got complacent, allowed Orlando to come back and get the W. They're playing again 4 days later, or, you know, a few days later, 2 days later. Philly hasn't forgotten. Orlando has their attention. I mean, Philly has, you know what I'm trying to say, Teddy. I'm over here trying to come at you and I should just be talking about the game. So what I'm going to say to you guys is, in the regular season, home favorites, after losing the previous matchup as a favorite, within 4 days, these quick revenge situations, 60% winners. If it's a high line, -9 or higher, it gets even better, 63.3% against the spread. Philly is not going to overlook Orlando tonight, and they're going to keep their foot on the gas. Philly -9.5.
All right, you got extra time there. Like I'm just saying, Robert, we gave him a little bit too much extra time. You got 3 extra seconds. Not fair, Teddy. All right, Skee's Profit, J Money, Teddy Covers. We appreciate you guys here at the NBA Tip-Off Show, giving out bets every single day. You guys can take a screenshot right now of today's picks recaps. Each panel member gave a dog and they gave a best bet. Go cash some tickets tonight. Happy NBA. We've made it to the month of February. This is where things start heating up. Go cash some tickets.
Lock in all sports, all plays, all 5% best bets from now until Super Bowl 58 on February 11th, 2024. From your favorite WagerTalk or Sports Memo handicapper for only $11.99 versus a regular price of $19.99 for a total savings of $800. This limited time super discount basically is 52 weeks at $23 per week, less than the price of one 4% play, coming out to only $3.29 per day. With the cost of a 30-day all-access priced at $2.99, it is almost like getting 8 30-day all-access passes at no additional cost. As an added bonus, your all-access starts immediately, so the sooner you buy before Super Bowl, the more additional days you get for free.